Alright, let me go ahead and start the recording. Alright, hello, and welcome, if you're just tuning into this VOD. For this video, we're going to see Supremacyst playing Kog'Maw. This is an 1109 ELO game. Looks like you are going to have a Karma support running Heal and Clairvoyant, so it's good to have Heal. Heal's a very good summoner spell. I'm glad Karma has that. Taking Ignite on AD carry is not too common, but I really like it on high burst champions. Like, I really like it on Graves. Kog'Maw, I don't know how I feel about Ignite. Kog'Maw has such long range that Ignite's range is actually going to be shorter than most of where you're hitting people from, so it might be hard for you to really use that effectively, but we'll see how well you use it. It is going to be really helpful against a Soraka, so you do have that going for you. You're going to be against a Graves Soraka lane, and that lane's going to be really annoying. That's a very strong lane. Graves is really good at just fighting by himself, and so Soraka will just give him, you know, that armor buff and the heal and the mana sustain to where he is really going to be able to just fight you 2v1 with all the Soraka buffs. So. So this CV I don't think should have been used right there by the Karma. I think you should be trying to get a feel for where Udir's starting. Your Karma also started Dorn's Ring, so you're not going to have wards, and that's very dangerous. Udyr can definitely do early ganks. This is very scary not having any wards, and this is something you'll see at lower elo. You'll see them just forgoing wards and forgetting that those exist. So. And you guys are auto-attacking the lane quite a bit. Like, you got a few auto-attacks in there. Try not to do that, especially when you have no wards. You're doing a good job of last hitting, though, and not letting Karma get those last hits. So, anytime you're playing against a Soraka lane, you want to be aggressive against that lane early. Soraka's heals are it's very ineffective early. It doesn't heal for much. The armor buff is tiny. It has a high cooldown. Like, Soraka is very weak early in the lane. I feel like a lot of people don't realize this. Like, Soraka before, like, level 5 really is not going to offer that much to her laning partner. So if you pick a strong, like, level 1 or 2 carry, like, you can probably trade with its Graves pretty effectively. And Karma does big damage. Like, you guys shouldn't be playing this passive right now. You should be playing aggressive very early on this lane. Once around, like, level 3 or 5, like, level 3, you're going to have to start playing a little more cautiously, and level 5, you're going to have to start playing a lot more passively. But until then, you guys should be aggressive. Like, you should hit your W and just start right-clicking on Graves. And this is something I touched on in my Let's Caitlyn video, that when you're playing an AD and you're not currently last hitting, try to right-click on them. If you can. Like, you're not last hitting, okay, you were last hitting there, but, like, you're not last hitting anything right now, go right click on them. They're in your, like, you can just go right click. They're busy last hitting. You can just get those last hits. I'd be very scared, so they have a very aggressive position right now, and yeah, you just saw the Udyr. And I was gonna say, they switched from, like, sitting way back behind their creep wave to being really in front. Alright, so Karma had to use her summoner heal. This is... Yeah, I was going to say, that might be a kill for you if you drop the Ignite, but looks like it's not going to be, but that's okay. And one thing I will say is that you should have your slow right now. Instead of picking up your Q, you should have definitely had your slow at level 2. Like, with that slow, Karma probably wouldn't have even had to use Summoner Heal. You could have slowed them and maybe picked up a kill. Always get, like, your CC effect skills by level 2, so you definitely want that slow. Now you have it. It would have been nice for that fight. But yeah, anytime you're playing like bot lane or any lane really, if you're not last hitting, try to get free right clicks on them, and that's how you win the lane. Like, okay, so not worried about last hitting, right click that Graves. You could have gotten one right click on him, and if he was busy last hitting his own minions, he wouldn't have right clicked you back. So you're going to have to play pretty careful now because Karma's not with you. But once again, you guys should be aggressive here. Like, Soraka really doesn't provide very, very strong sustain at this early. So once Soraka gets level 5, that's when her sustain becomes really good and her armor buff is really strong, and you have to start playing a little different and try to avoid harassing and trading. But this early in the game, you want to play aggressive against Soraka. Karma's still no wards, which is big. So if your support's not buying wards, you need to buy wards. It's worth it. They're really not that expensive. Even though you're the carry and you need gold, spend the money on wards because it's completely worth it. Oh, is that a new? That must be a new icon for Alistar with a new patch. I didn't recognize that. That was weird. Yeah, a new splash art for Ali, I guess. Totally didn't recognize that. Yep, and there you go. So there you go. Now you're trading some right clicks on him. So yeah, there you go. Right click, right click, right click. Don't be so afraid. You're playing way too afraid. How you win bottom lane is you right click them more than they right click you. So you always try to get free right clicks on them. Always. So here you go. You're not last hitting. Right click them. Right click. Oh man. I zoomed out. But yeah, you're not last hitting. So right click on them. Don't be so afraid. I can't get that camera angle right. Whatever. That's good enough. It's like super bird's eye. Okay. Once again, not last hitting. These right clicks should be going on Graves instead of the minions. Like, this Graves is playing so passive, and that's not how you should play Graves. So you should be taking advantage of this Graves being a little girl. Like, Karma is a high damage support. Like, Karma's a support you're supposed to play aggressive with. You have a shield, she has a heal, she has 2 AoE nukes. She's not a passive support. So that ignite was really early. There's no reason to ignite that so early. Use potions too while you're fighting. But like that fight, you like couldn't tell who you were attacking. You like hit Soraka, hit Graves, hit Soraka, hit Graves. You need to just pick one and go on it, and preferably Graves, because Soraka's really not going to do anything. So, but yeah, at this point, you missed your window to be aggressive. Like Graves does huge burst damage. Soraka's going to give really high sustain. You completely missed your window to be aggressive, and now you're going to have to play very passive. Yeah, you have to be careful with this low health against Graves, because he can E into you, Q and R, and you're dead. He has that much burst damage. 400 damage, no problem for Graves to just do in a burst, so you have to really watch that, so play very carefully. You're CSing pretty well. You definitely have like 13 CS on Graves, highest CS in game, so you're farming really well. You definitely could have gotten a lot of harass early while farming though. So I think that's a mistake. You should also be communicating with your jungle. You should be telling your jungle to come gank, because they haven't had wards all game either. So that's one thing you should always do. Communicate with your jungle. Let them know if they have wards, and if they do, where they are. So you should have just fought that. Okay, well, Skarner was still able to just grab the Graves, so that's good. So the thing is, like, if you stayed there and fought that, you could have gotten a lot of damage on the Graves, and the Skarner would have been able to come a lot sooner. But because you ran away, they started running away, and they were further away when Skarner came in. But like, if your jungle is gonna come and gank, you want to just fight the other lane and just chill. Like, there's no reason to run away. You could have just fought them, and like you wouldn't have died because you had Karma heals and shields. And Skarner could have came in and grabbed the Graves here, and possibly grabbed him into turret if you stayed and fought. That was a total waste of a summoner heal by Karma. I've said this before in a couple of my lessons. You never, ever use summoner heal for sustain. You use it to bait the other opponent. It's called heal baiting. Like, if you're like 200 HP and that Graves is like, oh, I can kill that Kog'Maw, and he goes into turret range and then Karma heals you, now he's just like taking turret hits for what he thought was a for sure kill, and you're dead. The other thing I've talked about in these lessons before, when you're playing against a Soraka, you need to back when you can. Like, now you're half HP, Karma's low mana, you're pushed to your turret, it's a horrible time to back, and that's what Soraka will do to you. She will just, like, it's a war of attrition with Soraka. She will just slowly wear you guys down and keep pushed up to your turret to where you eventually have to back, and they're going to be able to get a lot of free hits on your turret, and you're going to miss a lot. So you had the opportunity to back right after that Skarner gank. The lane was like pushed up to here. That's when you back against the Soraka lane. Like, you have 2,000 gold. You have a lot of money to go spend. So. And once again, it's a bad time to go back because, well, at least Kog'Maw will stay to get the experience. So, in IRC, I'm being honest, against this Soraka, is it a viable strategy to just harass Soraka instead of their carry? If you're harassing, just harass whoever you can. If you can hit the Soraka to harass her, do it. If you're fighting and like you're committing to a fight, you want to fight the AD carry though. But also the other thing is, once Soraka heals the AD carry, and they have that giant armor buff on them, you want to switch and start hitting the Soraka, who doesn't have the armor buff. That's one thing you can do. So, but you're doing a good job of CSing. You're only 3 CS behind Graves, so as long as you're doing a good job and not missing too many CS, you're going to be fine. Kog'Maw late game is probably just as good, if not stronger, than Graves late game, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. You missed like 2 CS there that you shouldn't have though, so just don't do that. And like you left with like 100 gold. I'm pretty sure you had enough for a ward when you left, and you should have gotten that ward. So right now Soraka's gone, and you should be like really aggressive on this Graves. He shouldn't be able to farm when his support's gone. So. And so one thing on your build, I think this is a mistake against Graves. Graves is such high burst damage, you need to be a little tankier to survive it. So I really think that you shouldn't have rushed the BF sword. I think you should have gone a couple Doran's blades. I think that's a big mistake. And also, you got boost too, and Graves instead got a Doran, so he has higher attack damage and more HP than you. But you have faster attack speed, but the attack speed isn't really going to be that useful. You're not going to be able to sit there and right-click and really take advantage of that attack speed early in the lane. So, yeah, Karma's actually pretty good against Graves because she can just shield his Q, and you see like her Q or her shield pretty much negated all of that Q damage by Graves. So, so right there, you didn't attack Graves back. Like he just half-healthed you, and you didn't touch him back, and that's a mistake. Like, you either need to run and be a lot more afraid of Graves, or you need to be more of a man and just fight him better. But the problem with fighting him is he has Soraka with him, so trading damage is not in your favor, because Soraka can just heal it up for them. So you either need to play a lot more passive, or just really commit and try to pretty much kill him. You should also be communicating like with your jungle and with your mid, and being like, hey, can you guys come gank? They have no wards, because they still don't have any wards, so... Soraka bought, well, she might. Looks like Soraka bought wards. Your Karma didn't. And so, you guys are going to really start coming behind, because you see Soraka has 2 gold per 10 items, and Karma has 0, so it's going to be bad. So I would have definitely gone on, Graves instead of Soraka, but you should pick up the Soraka kill. Your Ignite was really helpful there to prevent a lot of the healing. But I still think you guys should have gone to Graves, because if you went on Graves and you killed Graves, that was a free dragon. But it's actually kind of a scary dragon, because Graves is still up, and he does do a lot of damage, and you have to respect that. So you should be able to get this dragon pretty easily. But you have to be careful if Graves comes. Big mistake by Karma to take the aggro, though. Like, if Graves comes right now, he's just going to kill Karma. Yep, and here it is. I couldn't tell if you guys actually got that, oh man, Scion. Yeah, Yeah, so you have to be careful because Silent Stun will probably kill you. But you can like hit him over the wall with some ults. You could still be providing some support. Yeah, you guys didn't get that dragon, which is a big mistake. And you could have killed that dragon. Like it was really low, and you started like attacking the graves or something. But you could focus on that and try to get that dragon. But big mistake by Skarner not to smite that. And once again, I think this is a mistake in your build. You need the Dorans to be tanky. You already see that, like, if you don't get Karma Shield, that Graves Q, like, half healths you. And, like, this is a really big mistake to just not go any Dorans. You need the tanky. Karma just made you miss both of those last CS. That's pretty annoying. But I mean, this Graves is like really far ahead of you now, item-wise. Like you have crit chance, but he has 2 Dorans and a Vamp Scepter on you, so he's way stronger than you are. And here's the squishiness: like you just got half health, and the Dorans would provide you with 200 extra HP, which is pretty significant at this point in the game. And also provide you with a little bit of lifesteal, which is going to be helpful since you're not laning with a healer. Like you could have instead of this crit cloak, you could have 2 Dorans and a Vamp Scepter right now, and that would be way better.
Executed.
Udyr just died to red buff somehow. Not really sure how that happens, but. And you should be really communicating with your jungle and your mid and talking more about you need ganks. And here, like that aggression, trying to trade with that Graves, such a mistake. I mean, you see how poorly that ends for you, and that's because you don't have Dorans, you're not tanky, you don't have Vamp Scepter, you don't have sustain, and they have really high sustain with Soraka. So you need to play like really passive right now and just farm. And you're being way too aggressive in trading. So Soraka heals down, and now's a really good time for this Skarner to go before Soraka heals back up. But so yeah, good ignite, but you're way too close. Like you need to keep running from that Graves. All right, good. So you live. You can keep dropping ultis though to provide some damage, but don't get too close so Graves can't just like turn back and kill you. So good gank by that Skarner. Run from the Scion though, run from the Scion! So in general, it's a really bad idea to stick around with this low HP. Yeah, just throw ultis, but stay really far away. Good slow. You're playing a very dangerous game, but if you didn't, I think Karma just would have died, because I don't think you could have popped the shield. So it was good kiting and distance play by you, but let's see now. Oh, good juke. Udyr wasn't reading my attack move guide. Actually, you're probably going to bait this kill for the Udyr too. No, too fast. Udyr too fast. But. So it was good by you to stick around and provide help from really far away. That's one thing that Kog does really well, with his really long range and all his abilities. So good baiting there is really scary. Like if that Silent had flash up, you would have died. But it worked out alright for you. So you have Infinity Edge, so you're going to be really strong right now. But so squishy. You're such a glass cannon right now. You have to be scared. But you're definitely going to hit really, really hard. So at this point, you might be able to trade with the Graves. He does have 3 Dorans now, compared to your. So he has like 200 HP on you. But you do have like 10 AD and way more crit and burst damage with your Eye Edge. So there we see that big burst damage from the Infinity Edge. So good on you to be aggressive there. You should switch to the Soraka though. That Graves might be gone. And this Soraka is like a free kill. You missed your ulti. That's unfortunate. The ulti was for the kill and you missed it, but